in just a minute here. I said we're going to have a special guest. So, all right. So what I'm going to bring up here before we bring our special guest, we're going to move on down to QUIK, QUIK. Yesterday, we noted in pre-market the news that QUIK got $6.9 million base contract with the Department of Defense, a contract that could be worth up to $72 million over multiple years. So this worked out really well for us, at least for me, and anyone else who got in right at the open yesterday did really well. And I got a special guest here, Ashleigh Day. Ashleigh, I'll bring him on in just a second. A little background first. Ashleigh was an important part of AIR, the whole AIR story in our community. We were following that for a couple years, and together he helped us identify the inflection point in AIR. So I know he's been following QUIK, QUIK. So invited him on to talk a little bit about QUIK. Ashleigh, are you there?
Hey, how's it going, Ben? I'm here.
Good. I heard you moved to Portugal.
I did, yeah. Loving it so far. I'm actually awake for the market open, which is nice.
Very, very cool. All right. Well, glad to see you. Always good to see you. We got QUIK here. Let me pull up the chart. So what's interesting is, I'm not nearly as familiar with this company as you are, as I scroll to look for it. But yesterday in our chat room, I put the transcript to the most recent earnings conference call. And what I discovered was that this deal was already pre-announced on the conference call. No press release. The deal with the numbers was pre-announced, but we didn't know who it was with. So that was interesting.
Actually, that slipped by. I did listen to the conference call, but I must have missed them talking about this particular deal. They did announce a $7 million deal.
It's this one. That's this one.
That was a licensing deal, though, that was announced on the same day as the conference call last time. I think these are additive. This is 6.9 million with the Department of Defense for the development of a eFPGA tool. I do have I'm going to be speaking with management next week, so I'll hopefully have some clarification as to what this deal means for them. So as they said, it is 6.9 over multiple years, and there's then some options to increase it to 72 million.
Right.
Which obviously is approaching their market cap, so that makes it pretty exciting.
Yeah. So, simple question for you. I know you're talking with management next week, but do you think this deal marks? I'm always looking for inflection points, right? We had that inflection point in the AIR where that big order signified that those orders were recurring revenue. It wasn't just it was for production, right? It wasn't just for testing and validation. And that was the inflection point for AIR. Do you think this contract could be an inflection point for QUIK?
I think if you believe management, and that's kind of been perhaps I've been somewhat skeptical as a few others of what management says, which is a problem, and is what makes it for me not a core position but a small position. Is if you believe them, then the inflection point was really in May of 2021, and then they announced a $3 million IP deal, and then another one after that, and then this is the third announcement. And so they're starting to get more announcements quicker. And I think if you run the numbers on this kind of gives them a little more than $3.5 million of quarterly revenue just off the announcements, and that gets them pretty darn close to break even, and that's locked in. So it would be almost difficult for them to swing to a loss at this point from where they are. So I think they signaled the inflection on that May 21 call, and we're seeing the proof in these announcements. And I'd say that the one they announced a couple months ago showed that they've inflected. As you notice, the stock really hasn't crashed from last November, which was a little strange. And they've done 2 small financing with long-term investors of maybe a couple million just to get them to this point. So they're doing the financings right, kind of in my opinion.
Yeah, this stock has outperformed the market. It's you can see over a year, it's up from about $5. 6 months, again, up from about $5, and it held the 50 weak moving average here last week, and yesterday or 2 days ago bounced off the 200 EMA. So definitely a lot of relative outperformance compared to the market and technical strength here. So you said there's a small position for you. Did the press release yesterday this deal, inspiring you to add more at this point, or you want to talk to management first?
Well, actually, I initiated the small position pre-market, or roughly at open yesterday, kind of when the news came out. I've been waiting for a pullback. I kind of wanted to kind of re-add to the position. Maybe if it got down to the fives. It's been, as you said, it's been strong. So I haven't been wanting to get back in due to I'm not fully comfortable with management. But since it had dipped back into the sixes, combined with this news, it felt like a safe place to start a small position again. I'd been involved in until last November when it got pretty high, got ahead of itself. So it could turn into a core next week if what they say, if they have a nice roadmap, and depending on that 72 million of optionality from the DoD. This sort of signals some type of validation that they've really got something.
Yeah, it looks like a very exciting contract. So, Ashleigh, thank you so much for your time. We'd love to check in with you again in the next couple of weeks after you speak to management. Any last words?
No, I think that's it. Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashleigh. Have a great day. Enjoy Portugal.
Yeah, you too.
All right.